Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday, October 21st, 2020. I am Jeff Gargas with the Teach Better team. I've got Dave Schmitto here, and we are here to do the Admin Mastermind Rewind and make sure that you are aware of something that, an opportunity that's out right now that is ending tonight. So stick with us. And who knows, when Dave and I are together, there's always a chance we're going to give something away. So you may want to hang out a little bit.
Let's do it.
All right, I got to ask Dave, on my end, I heard no music. Did you hear music?
Oh, it was jamming, yeah.
Okay, I wonder why I didn't hear any music.
Did you see me dancing?
I saw you dancing, so I'm like, I'm pretty sure that means music going on. But you never know. You could just be dancing.
Oh, it's always in my head.
That's always a chance too, True. So I was weird. That was weird that I did not hear anything. And I apologize. I'm looking off to the side again. I'm getting our Facebook group brought up so I could see anybody over here and see the comments coming in. That was interesting. That's the first time it's ever done that, so it kind of threw me off. StreamYard's they're always updating, always improving, always doing things. So there's a chance there's some thought process behind it, but whatever. Anyway, so it is Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week. People might be a little confused because you and I are not supposed to.
They're running to their fridge right now saying, "Should I have a drink?"
They're like, "Wait a minute."
Not yet. Hold on, guys.
So it's supposed to be 5 p.m. Eastern time, but we're here now because this is typically when you'd be live with Chad Ostrowski doing I don't want to say typically because it's kind of like sometime in the morning.
It's random. You guys draws, and whoever loses gets stuck with Schmitto in the morning. I got it. It's all good.
But it's Administrator Mastermind Rewind. So I'm excited about today because I was not able to make the evening Mastermind. So it's always fun to kind of get the rewind on that. So I always enjoy that. But we also want to make sure that you are very well aware that tonight's 8 p.m. Eastern time, the form will close for the entry for the free PD contest that we're giving away. So if you go, I'm going to get that out of the way right now. So if you go over to teachbetter.com/freepd2020, you can enter. It's a short little form and enter to win. We're giving away at least 10 different 60 to 90 minute PD sessions, 100% free. There's no strings attached. We're not going to then try and charge your district travel or anything like that. We cover all of it.
Just for the record, I am submitting for you guys to come do PD here at my house.
At your house?
We'll just hang out back, and the kids will jump on a trampoline, and you guys just teach me. So let's see what happens.
Look, I'm not
asking
saying
for the whole team though. So
I'm not saying I have any pull on anything because it's actually random, but I'll make sure you win.
Okay, let's do it.
No, so teachbetter.com/freepd2020 gets you that entry into that. If you win, you don't have to do anything else. Fill that out. We'll call your administrator. We'll get it all set up. It can be for your school or for your district, for both. But we love coming to schools, and we get asked a lot about it. And one of the most common and obvious reasons for sometimes not be able to go is because there's no funds, and that's understandable. So we basically set aside a bunch of money every year, and we're like, all right, that's going into that. So in case we need to travel, in case we need to do things, but we can do it virtually as well. So that ends tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you get over there, get it put in, and have it done. So second part and why we're here is to talk about the Admin Mastermind, which we have every Tuesday, both at 9 a.m. Eastern time and 7 p.m. Eastern time, which I love because we originally were like, hey, we should try 2 different times to see which is the best. And now we're like, we're never not doing 2 times.
Right. Yeah. I'm actually wondering where we're going to fit the third time in because it's getting big, man.
It's getting big. So last night, I think we had one of the biggest we've had at night, right? I think one other week we had pretty good, but nice chunk. The morning group has grown really fast, and we've had to do breakout rooms because there's multiple worthy of multiple rooms. But last night you did breakout rooms as well with the evening crowd. Yeah. So we had some nice splits yesterday for the morning crowd. We talked about in the group that I was in. We talked primarily around an instance of someone struggling with someone just really coming into a new position and essentially being so overwhelmed that she already stopped showing up after day 2. So it was like, how do you balance this idea of supporting her, being empathetic to what she's going through, because it was a position that she didn't necessarily ask for, but she's could be great at, right? How do you support her, show her that you're there for her, that it's okay that she's there and that you want to help her get to where she needs to be, while also being prepared for the idea that, hey, she might decide it's not right for her, right? And might need to step out. So you need to have your team prepared. It was a really great, just collective, mind being put into that problem. So that was the core conversation around in the group that I was in. What was the primary piece that you guys discussed or that they had going on in the other one? Because I know you kind of bounce between groups, but
yeah, and it's kind of fun being able to bounce between the groups, and the fact that we have so many groups now. But it's also a challenge because you just hear little nuggets, and I lose the context of the entire conversation. But yesterday there were some extremely powerful conversations that I was a part of, and it seemed like conflict resolution was the theme of the day. I was a part of 2 conversations, both in the morning and in the evening, where administrators talked about inserting themselves. When do they insert themselves into internal drama or internal conflict going on in their school, whether it's amongst teachers that aren't quite getting along, or there's a power dynamic and there's tension, and they're just wondering. One person put it pretty eloquently: when do they have the Festivus moment and just let everybody come do the airing of the grievances, and when do they sit back and say, no, let's just focus on strengths and let's just look for common ground? How do they solve those kinds of conflicts? And again, amazing conversations and solutions were presented where people walked away from both meetings yesterday with pages and pages of notes and ideas to reflect on and hopefully implement.
Yeah. Good morning to Megan. I see Megan giving us some thumbs up. There's some other folks watching but not commenting. So let us know where you're at. Both, I love this, both geographically where you're at, but also where you're chiming in from, whether you're on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Twitch.
Hold on, this streams on YouTube?
It streams on YouTube. Huh. Yes.
Oh no.
Why do you ask? Like,
I don't know. I just feel like there's been a little bit of a pull towards people to go to YouTube lately, and I'm intrigued.
If you haven't noticed, there's been a lot more videos going to YouTube as well, taking a lot of clips from different things that we have going on and stuff like that. And there are more just typical like how-to and stuff coming soon as well. So more content going over to YouTube. But yeah, last week during our brain break, we did require people to be on YouTube to win the medal that we gave out. So and Elijah walked away with that medal. So Kate is here. Good morning, Kate. Good to see you. I see that Jeffrey Prickett is watching with us. Missed you too, Jeff, man.
For sure, man. There was a hole in the screen.
Yes, it's definitely like an awesome group, and it's amazing, but we definitely feel it when one of the people that is typically there is not there. Yeah. We had how many new faces we have in the evening? We had 3 or 4? 5 new faces. Did we have any in the morning? We had at least. There was a couple that I didn't recognize, but I wasn't able to be in there.
I think there were 2 in the morning. Yeah.
Okay, 2 new. So it's growing. So it's great. I mean, this is free. It's every week. If you're in administration or a leader role in any way, if you're a leader, consider yourself a leader in education, this is a spot for you.
And can I chime in real quick and talk about the new people? So last night after we got done with the evening session, I stayed on because one of the new people wanted to have a conversation with me. Okay. And it always gets, I get a little nervous when we in the meeting and there's that person lurking and they say, hey, do you have a minute? I just want to talk to you. I'm thinking this could go a lot of different directions, you know? But he was amazing. And he was very real and very honest and said, listen, I just want to tell you, I was hesitant about joining this. I've heard a lot about it. I see it all over social media, but I didn't want to be that new guy that came into this space, and it was kind of intimidating. But when I walked in, I didn't feel new. I had no idea how many other new people were there, and I felt like I just fit right into the group. And he wanted to stay late just to have that conversation and to talk. He said, you know, as administrators, so often I feel so isolated and alone, and like there's no one to turn to, and I'm supposed to have all the answers all the time. And there's this space now that I'm now aware of on Tuesdays where I can go in and be clueless and just be a sponge and learn and grow and make friends. I was like, wow, that sums it up right there. That's what it's all about. You know, administrators, this is an opportunity to just let your guard down and break bread with people and learn and grow. It was good.
It really is. That's a great point. And I think one of the things that does that, and this is super simple, but it's just the way that you've got things formatted, is that every session we start with introductions. So like, every time this is my name and what I do in education, even though I might be in a room with a bunch of people who already know me, who I've been talking to, because we want to make sure that anybody who's new gets to know everyone right away and has that exact same feeling, which is I'm welcome here. This is a safe space. I can have conversations. I can be vulnerable. I can be real, and I'm going to learn and grow. And I think that's cool. And then I love that you've infused this. You know, and I'm always interested to see like what you're coming up with each time of like, so we do like, you know, an introduction. A lot of times, sometimes we celebrate something, but a lot of times recently you've been having to share something that's totally not like profession related, right? It's something personal. Like we did, guilty TV pleasures, and we did yesterday was in the morning was if unlimited money, what would the birthday present be? Which by the way quickly turned from like birthday presents to like dreams and superpowers.
Right.
So it's really cool because I think it's connections. We're connecting on a completely different level.
And that's it. The power of the mastermind group is that it's not just a Tuesday meeting. We are truly making these connections that transcend from Tuesday to Tuesday. The Tuesday meeting is just that stopping point. It's just our opportunity to connect and make sure we're still on track. But the connections that people now have with each other, literally from the time they sign off from the meeting on Tuesday until they sign in the following Tuesday, is where all the magic is. Like just like we talk about with kids that are synchronous and asynchronous, there's so much power in that asynchronous connection. And that's exactly what's happening with the mastermind group. There's this Voxer group now that is growing, like 40 something people in there. And we've got just all these side conversations and side groups. And it's blowing me away to watch.
So the Voxer group is getting absurd in the best way possible.
Right.
It's so active. I feel like every morning I wake up and I'm like, I was up at 5 a.m. this morning. I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's already 4 messages in there, which is great.
And half more from Mr. Prickier. Yeah. Cause he's a rock star of the group. Yeah.
We get a little pick me up, a little reminder of what we should be focusing on and stuff like that from Jeff every day, which is awesome. Typically after he's finishing up his run and stuff. So it's really cool. And what I really like about about just the group, to feel both the morning and afternoon or in the evening, is that there is a ton of positivity there, but I feel like it's also very well known and shown that it's okay to not be 100% positive, because we have rough days and we're facing unprecedented times right now in a job that is already extremely difficult, both from the classroom to administration, everything in between and all around. And education is harder right now potentially than it ever has been. So it's okay to like come in and be in a rough mood and having a rough day. I think the positivity lifts you up, but this ability to be vulnerable and to share that, and then to be able to try and tackle it with a group, I think is really incredibly powerful. I mean, the conversation we had yesterday morning was a tough one where no one had a solution because there was still too many unknowns and so many factors that could have led to that potential scenario. But it was sort of this moment of like, the person to share was able to share the frustrations they were feeling and the worry they were feeling, and like, here's what I'm thinking and stuff. And then we were able to say, here's how I'm hearing that, here's what I'm hearing that, and try to do what we could to share stories and stuff like that. And I really felt like they left feeling so much better about that really tough situation. So like, that's the power, I think, is just incredible.
For all the married people that might be watching this right now, that sometimes there's power in just being an active listener, that your partner, your spouse doesn't always need an answer.
Yes.
They just need to be able to get it out there and be heard. Yes. And sometimes that's all we need as administrators and as leaders as well, because we don't get the luxury of venting and letting off steam all that often. Yeah. We're supposed to be this stoic figure with all the answers. So this just gives us a safe space to say, whew, man, did I just walk through it today? Yeah. And I just need somebody that can smile and assure me that tomorrow will be better, and maybe give me a few nuggets and a few things to consider and some ideas and strategies. But if you are an administrator with all the answers and everything is perfect and the streets in your community are paved with gold, you don't need to join us on Tuesday. If you are anybody else, though, come on down.
So let me ask you, because that brings up an interesting, I just kind of want to hear your thoughts on this, is how do you, Dave Schmittou, how do you yourself get through the days where you have that, where you're like, man, I've been through it today. This was rough today. I am not that person that I thought I'm not that person that knows it all. I'm clueless right now. What are the things that you do to get yourself from that point back to the confident, all-knowing Dave that I know?
Well, I can answer this in two ways. I can answer the way that I used to do it versus the way I do it now.
I'd like to hear both.
Okay, so the way I used to do it was I would swallow it and hide it and act like nothing bothered me. I would walk around with a bigger swag. I would keep all emotion in check, constantly focused on my facial expressions, the words that came out of my mouth, putting on this facade that nothing fazed me. The reality is, inside, it was eating me alive. It takes a lot more energy to fake it than it does to just be real. What do I do now is anytime I am shaken, rattled, I have no problem reaching out to somebody else and saying, hey, help. I just need some support. I just need you to listen. I need something. And being very transparent, you are one of those people that I can reach out to. I've got now people in the mastermind groups who I'm able to reach out to, or I'm just available to them and they'll share with me. And then that reciprocates and I can say, okay, they're dealing with something and I can relate. Let me share my struggles with them. And it's not that misery likes company, but just getting it out there and being able to articulate it and not feeling like I have to own it all myself gives me so much strength. So that I can think, okay, tomorrow can be better, or even the next minute can be better. And then I can actually puff up with a little bit more pride and say, okay, I got this. I know I got this because I've gotten it before.
I love that you talked about, you mentioned sort of this, you don't have to, or that you can connect and be like, hey, I don't have it all figured out. I'm struggling, because we have that conversation and we talk about that in the group and stuff too. I was reading an article, I can't remember what it was now, this morning. That's a horrible memory. But they were touching on the fact that like recognizing that things aren't always awesome is actually is such a powerful way to connect, because if you think about how we're more quickly to connect with someone because they share a pain of ours.
Yes.
Than we are to connect with them because they have an awesome Instagram, right? Because they have this beautiful room. We're actually less likely to connect, especially unless we also have that, right? Then we might have that connection, right? We might have a connection across something that we both really love and are passionate about or whatever. But I'd actually argue to connect that you and I connect better from a personal standpoint because I'm a Browns fan and you're a Lions fan versus if either one of us was like a Patriots fan, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things.
That's true.
And that's a fun one, but it's still the same type of thing. So I think that's why so many of the Admin Mastermind connect so much, because they're able to connect on this level of like some of the things that you touched on is like, I don't always have a place to complain because I need to carry that. I need to keep my teachers knowing that I got their back. I don't want to complain to them. So having this, now we can connect on that, right? Dealing with this struggle between making sure you're preparing your team for a potential worst case scenario while still wishing for the best and trying to help someone get there. Right.
Yeah.
Having that struggle and be able to share that struggle, the struggle of like trying to do what's right for your teachers and give them everything they can, but making a mistake and they thinking maybe you didn't mean to do the right thing. Right. All these types of things that I think, when we connect on that type of stuff and the struggles, and I think that's why teachers are connecting right now more than ever, is because there's this really, really common struggle right now that no one's afraid to talk about.
Right.
Or I won't say no one's afraid, not as afraid to talk about the fact that like, hey, it's COVID. I'm struggling. This is a pandemic, right? And we're all like, yeah, me too. And I think if we can keep that a little bit and say like, hey, it's okay to struggle as a teacher. Like it's always okay.
Right.
Let's share that and let's talk. I think we'll have more connection. So it's one of those silver linings that are in this.
No, absolutely.
Crazy world that we're in, that we're connected more.
Somehow, I don't even know where it came from. We've painted it up that leaders, administrators, whatever we want to call them, aren't able to have those struggles. That we want teachers to be vulnerable. We want them to be transparent. We want them to be real and relatable. But leaders, I mean, I know jokingly, I talked last week about 80s commercials. 80s TV commercials suck and they ruined us, and they should be damned, because there was like the commercial, never let them see you sweat, which completely ruined what leadership is all about.
Yeah.
Real leaders model the behaviors that they want to see in others. And if you want realness and you want transparency, you need to be real. You need to be transparent. If you want people to be reflective and you want them to grow, you want them to improve, you need to do the same thing. Yeah. I've heard quotes before that to the something like the leader who admits his weaknesses has admitted nothing new to those that serve him. They already know it. You're only admitting it to yourself. So if you're putting up this front like you have all the answers, don't be shocked if nobody comes to you with questions. The more answers you present, the fewer questions people come to you with. So just be real, say what you don't know, and be shocked at how many people start leaning into you.
I think it's funny we said about like leaders not building up, but I don't even know. It wasn't that long ago, and I don't even know if we're not even there yet. But we started to at least push there the fact that like teachers don't have to be perfect all the time, right? We started to talk about how it's okay for kids to make mistakes, and they should be making mistakes because they're learning. It's okay to recognize that and lean into that to help them grow. But for a long time, we were still like, yeah, but you teacher, you should know everything from the day you come out of college, which is not true in any other profession anywhere in the world.
As a dad, did you have all the answers when your kids were born?
I don't know. I don't know anything yet. I'm still right. But but it is really weird. I've referenced this many times. Like I have a buddy of mine who's incredibly successful as an accountant in a massive corporation worldwide and stuff. And actually, he's not anymore. He actually retired, same age as me. He's retired because of that, because of the moves made. But he always told me he's got his master's degree in finance stuff. He's like, all I learned in college was the words. Because I learned everything I know about the actual work while I was there. And that's expected. It's understandable. That's why they have training periods and stuff like that. But teachers, it's like, all right, day one, you should have it, right? And we're finally starting to acknowledge that. And I hope we continue to acknowledge that, not just amongst teachers also, but also amongst admins. I think that's still a really bad statement that they're supposed to know everything, they're supposed to have it all figured out. That's just not how it works.
And I think that's an excellent challenge for administrators to even think about right now as they're looking at their newer, younger, more novice teachers. Do not expect them to come in with all of the answers. Do not use that first year or two to start labeling your teachers. Use those first couple of years to figure out how to grow those teachers. You wonder why there's a teacher shortage. This is part of it. So allow teachers to stumble and allow yourself to pick them up without judgment, because that's what you would expect as well.
Labeling a teacher after the first year, second year, third year, even in the fifth year as a teacher that is like this or like that or whatever is the same as labeling a kid who struggled for his first 3 years of school as dumb or unreachable or the bad kid. It's the same thing. We talk about don't do that to kids, but then we could potentially do it to ourselves or to the people that we work with and that we're supposed to be serving. And that's a great point. So I think that's really important. And I think all this comes back to why you're trying to do all this. Come to the mastermind and have that support group, right?
That's it.
This is the kind of things we talk through, the kind of ideas. There are so many brilliant people. Dave and I are probably the least smart people in there.
That's the truth. I'll put myself there. But yesterday I was so honored and blessed. You came to the morning session, and then Ray came to the evening session.
How much better was the evening session then?
It was pretty legit. and we had a couple people that came to both, a couple double dippers. So I was like, I could just sit back and enjoy the show. It was so good.
I'm not gonna lie. Before you took over, I kind of that was my thing. Now I still go and I kind of just like sit back and learn. It's awesome. But it's a lot of fun. I love being in that role of kind of like hosting the party.
Yeah. You're like the DJ just watching the dance floor, right?
Yeah, and you kind of go back, kind of like, to make sure I'm playing the right songs. They got something to dance to. Awesome. Now I get to enjoy it over here, just like, So it's the same thing. It's just really, really cool to see. I love that it's growing. And that there's so many people a part of that group, new and those who have been around since, the last couple of months, that are they just want to help everyone else because they realize that they're going to accidentally help themselves if they're focusing on everyone else. And that's such a really, really cool thing. And that brings me one of the best piece of advice that a mentor ever gave me was if you focus all your energy on helping other people, you're going to turn around one day and see a large pile of cash behind you. And that pile of cash isn't necessarily cash. It's fulfillment. It's happiness. It's success. It's a purpose, right? And I think that's just true with all the people that are in this thing. So super excited for it to keep growing.
For sure.
So go to teachbetter.com/mastermind. Get details for that. That's Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern time and 7 p.m. Eastern time for now. We're going to see if Dave ends up doing like 6 of these a week.
Right. I might just stay logged in all day long and say, join me when you can.
So what happens if we have to start having like 3 or 4 breakout rooms? Is that when we're going to have to be like, all right, like let's start doing different times, or is it just let's do 4 breakout rooms, right?
We'll have to figure that out, man. We're gonna adjust as needed. This is differentiation in action. We're gonna try to adjust as needed when needed. I challenge everyone watching now, all the people that come to the masterminds right now, to go find 2 to 3 other people to bring them into this world. Let's test this theory. I want to see what we can do with 3. It's gonna be a good time. So make sure you join us for that. It's really awesome. Dave leads that, so you get to see Dave every Tuesday. And then, you had them all hooked into it, and you throw that into it. Come on. Don't worry. I'm just there for the beginning and the ending. You can still play with your friends.
Before we go, though, because I know you got to get to teach in a class.
Yeah.
Your classes are starting right now up at Central Michigan University.
There you go. Well done. Yes.
I'm like, is it C Central or is it Crappy Michigan? No,
wow. Wow.
CMU is actually a really good school. The crappy was to Michigan, not to the university. I want to clarify that. Anyway, so fun story. I'm in another mastermind, or I'm in a business community that has a bunch of masterminds in it. Actually, to start masterminds, and I'm actually fortunate I get to lead one. But within there, they have like geo groups too, because it's a worldwide thing. And like, so one of them is, United States, and within the United States, there's a bunch of little things that are the states. And no one had started the Ohio one. So I put Ohio peeps, what's going on? The first person that comments in that group, the comment is this: I'm from Michigan, but it's close. And I'm like, ooh, what do I do with this?
I don't know them yet.
Right now, I don't know her. So I'm sure she's perfectly nice, but does she realize what she did? No. So I just thought that was fun. I thought of you in that moment. I'm like,
speaking, if Megan Anderson is watching this, your little friend here, Jeff Gargas, had the audacity to wear an Ohio State hat last night, point it out, celebrate it. Every other word was "Go Bucks."
Did you send out the Buckeye yet? The little Buckeye we gave away?
It's in the mail right now.
Who won that? I can't remember.
Eli, New Mexico.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Ohio State going to New Mexico. Good stuff. All right, so we're gonna go here because you got to teach. I got to do something. I'm sure I have something I got to do. Do you want to mention again? Just
maybe you have to work on that connected coaching stuff. Who knows? I don't know.
Possibly. I have to do connected coaching stuff, which if you're not aware of that, go over to teachbetter.com/connected coaching and check that out. That has been a blast so far working with the tier 3 folks. I'm excited for the tier 1 and 2 to launch as well. But I want to make sure that we mentioned again that tonight at 8 p.m. is the last chance. That's when it closes. So after 8 p.m., but assuming Jeff turned it off and set it up properly for turn off at 8 p.m. At 8 p.m., it'll be closed. You won't be able to submit anymore, but teachbetter.com/free PD2020. Enter over there. We're giving away at least 10 free PD sessions, and it's on any topic that you're looking for that we talk through. There's a whole list of them there. 60 to 90 minutes, 100% free. We will either do it virtually or come to your school or your district if that's where you want to go as well. So
if your district is in Hawaii, submit now.
Yeah.
Multiple, yes.
Make sure you do that and when you pick your topics, think through stuff that Dave would want.
Yes, please. I'll do anything. Seriously. I'm in.
I'm gonna add a topic, Dave, that's live brain break with Dave and Jeff.
Done.
But you can only click it if you select Hawaii as your state. Like otherwise it doesn't work. No. So make sure you head over there, get that done. And yeah, we'll see you tonight at 5:00 Eastern time. For a brain break. We do have to take a few moments out of your day and my day today to figure out what we're giving away tonight. So we are going to give some stuff away because that's what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. So I hope you'll join us then after your day. Much deserved brain break at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And we also got Master Chat tomorrow night, so make sure you join us for Master Chat as well. Appreciate you, Dave. Appreciate you all watching. Have a fantastic Wednesday. We'll see you in a few hours, and I appreciate y'all.